Hi, good morning and welcome. I'm just going to check that this is happening. Doesn't seem to be working on YouTube at the moment. I don't know why. It's probably a TradingView issue because that's how it works. It comes out of TradingView into YouTube, and currently I'm not seeing it. I hope people can hear me and so forth. I can see. Let's see if anyone's online. So let's just redo this. Cool. Okay, so excellent. So say hi if you're on a live chat, and don't forget you can ask any questions you want. I'm going to be regularly streaming again, mainly on YouTube rather than TradingView. We are starting a sort of market update service, which you'll hear about over the next few streams. So there's no need to make any notes right now. This gives me a standard stream. I would say though that we've got a new indicator which we're giving out to people for nothing, and that is the COT. So if you don't know what COT is, it is Commitments of Traders, which is issued by the CFTC, which they regulate futures trading and so forth, mainly in Chicago, across the US. And what they do is they ask everybody who is a market participant, brokers, hedge funds, everybody else, to declare their positions every week. And it's released a week late, but it's still an indication of where the big boys are. And if you've watched us at all in any way whatsoever, you know that we care very much about the big boys versus the small boys. So down here at the bottom, these are the shorts in Bitcoin futures. These are the longs. And what we've noticed is down here, we're seeing accumulation, which is what we've been talking about for years. This blue line here is a difference between the shorts and the longs. You see how they're closing up the gap between the two, and that's shown by this rising up. Now, the absolute value, which is still negative, so there are more shorts out there than longs, is less important than this blue line, which indicates the overall movement in those positions. And the reason for that is that there are perfectly reasonable reasons to be short Bitcoin futures against perhaps being long Bitcoin, or various other technical trades one might have on if one is a leveraged trader. And the leveraged traders are the ones that we show here by default. Now, obviously, I'm watching this and saying I'm looking for signs of accumulation. There is a sign of accumulation right there. So that makes me feel good about the fact that I'm long Bitcoin, admittedly from a little bit higher up than this, but not much. Started accumulating it. Everywhere below this blue value line is a buy for us. And obviously you don't know it's going to drop, so you buy some and then you just sit on it, and then you buy some more, and then you buy some more, and it's dropped some more. And I don't care because I'm not on margin. So this is like a 3-4 year thing for me, and I'm happy to hold on to them. I allocated an amount that I wanted to invest in crypto. Fully invested in Bitcoin, still waiting for XRP, which most of you who've watched before will know. So don't forget to say hi if you're in there, and if you want to ask any questions about anything at all, trading related, or you want me to look at your latest shitcoin or whatever it is you want. But bear in mind that these sort of AMAs on TradingView are going to diminish somewhat because we're going to concentrate on doing paid for subs, and the paid for will be like $5 a month. So don't get worried about it. You pay more for a paper, and we'll be doing myself and Lewis will be doing a deal on that. If you want to go to our website, you can get this indicator. So mayfair-method.com. I'll type that in the chat actually. I don't know if this will go through because TradingView don't allow you to type anything at all. Yeah, it seems to be there. mayfair-method.com, and if you look, you get a free indicator. Risk City, hi there to you. Appreciate what you're doing. That's very kind of you, mate. Yeah, so what do I think in Bitcoin? Well, let's go to why everyone's excited and possibly why people are sort of tuning in this morning. Because if you're coming down to like a 1 hour, it's like, hey, Bitcoin's off to the races. But I'm glad we started on the daily, or was it the weekly? I think it was the weekly we started on. But if we look on the daily, why is everyone getting excited? Right now, if I came to this chart and said to myself, what would I do here? I would say, well, I think this is a place where most pros would open a small short, waiting for it to hit this sort of big level here. And one of the tricks I've taught you all many, many times In fact, let's go to the weekly and see what this actually means, this rally. It's just not really anything, okay? And if you go to the daily, or let's go to the daily and look at, you know, what the pros would be doing, what the pros would be thinking. Well, you've hit this line many, many times. And so initially you've got to say there's a line here which is support turned resistance. And so it should have some resistance here. And if you want to go into it deeper, I suggest you use the price volume tool to see where that is. So you've got a lump here and another lump here at around 19.2. Now these are insights that I occasionally, this is no secret, this tool is something we use, but there are loads and loads of other things within our whole sort of website stroke Discord server where we do educate people for a fee. So go to the website and have a look at it anyway, and there's even an explanatory video there why you should pay up and look big and join us. But I will tell you that I could have told you where this point was without bringing this up, and that's, you know, most people after a while in our server won't need very many indicators. This one's useful, but what it does is support our assertion that we think it's accumulation here, and that comes from looking at stuff over a long period of time and saying we expect accumulation here. So we look at this picture and we're saying, well, here I'd expect the big boys to be accumulating, not here particularly. And look, they didn't really. Tiny bit of accumulation in this area, but really they're still net selling to you. And they were even happier to sell once it reached up to this sort of monthly 5. So if we put in, you know, where we see this stuff. So there's, sorry, weekly 5. So there's the weekly picture. I think the week, yeah, and here's the monthly picture over here, which I'll put in a different color. So that's where we are. And now Elliott Wave Elliotticians will say, well, look, the monthly 4 is below the monthly 1. Well, I don't care. Okay, because we use Elliott as a guide, and this is the value area. There are too many reasons to be accumulating here to worry about a little bit of Elliott breakage. Now, in a lot of things, you know, in a clean market with no war, with no pandemic, with no Trump, Biden, with no all these other things, yeah, I would say, you know, I'm less keen on this because of the break of the 1 level. However, this isn't a normal period, and so I'm happy with it. And you know, I would say that we're in an area now where a lot of people would describe Bitcoin as a hopeless case, and that's perfect. That's perfect for me as a buyer. You know, I'm waiting for people to think that. A lot of people talking about the death of crypto. Brilliant, music to my ears. I might even buy some more. You know, that's how I feel about it. And you'll notice that up here, if you were watching the news, crypto was going, you know, was going to 1 million. You've got idiots out there saying this is going to 1 million, this is going to 1 million, and all they're doing is shilling it. You know, what do you think the big boys are doing up there, having bought it? You know, do you remember the time when Bitcoin was just pointless? Well, I'll tell you when that was. That was here. This is when, you know, if you phoned up Goldman Sachs as a client and said, what do you think of Bitcoin? They would have told you it was a pile off. And what are they doing? Telling everyone it's a pile off. Don't get involved. It's a complete nonsense. And in fact, what were they doing at the time? Well, they were filling their boots with it because they could afford, you know, down here they could afford to buy thousands and thousands, millions of Bitcoin because it was cheap, and they got big banks and a simple pump for them. You know, they could have put, you know, $50 million into it when it was priced at 1,000. You know, that's a lot of Bitcoin. Okay, and they are selling all of this. They're selling here, 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 here. They're still selling. They're selling bloody everywhere, and that's what you got to bear in mind. So what they put out as their guidance, they're right now saying Bitcoin's dead, Bitcoin's dead. Well, why do you think they're doing that? Got to ask yourself those questions. Right, so what else we got to talk about? Well, there's plenty of other things. I don't know if you want to put up anything else you want to talk about. You know, we cover foreign exchange, gold, oil, all those things. We're literally price action people. Now we've got CPI coming up today. And so we might as well look at Euro USD, because that will be the one I'll be trading over the CPI number. So what's this? This is a daily. Let's spread this out. I haven't looked at this for quite a while by the looks of things. So let's get rid of this. What else have we got in here? Just get rid of this. I don't even know where these things are, so let's get rid of them all. And we just look at this as price action and say to yourself on a daily, you know, what am I seeing here? I'm seeing a series of levels, okay, where there's a level. And I'm not telling you how I'm seeing these levels, but I am seeing these levels. And I'm saying to myself, you know, what is most likely coming up? What is the trade? You know, what do I recommend to people? Would I, you know, if someone held a gun to my head, would I be, you know, buying or selling Euro USD? Well, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing a pretty deep drop down, and this broke its headed wave absolutely ages ago. So this went through the low of where's March 2020? Yeah, here, and carried on going south because of the war and so on and so forth. But right now, what it's done is revisiting these big areas of interest. You know, and to say you want to long this, you know, I'm not saying it won't go up a little bit more before, and this is a level where I'd be interested in selling. But to say it won't go up a little bit more, you know, I can't say that. What I would say is I wouldn't long this now, and I'm looking for short trades. Aside from anything else, if you look at the great granddad of them all, DXY, this is reminding me a little bit of Bitcoin, in that you're in the value area for this particular move. Now, obviously, we've seen this big rise up. You're gonna get a pullback in it. You just do get a pullback. Here is that pullback. Where are the levels where it's interesting? Well, I've indicated one here. There's another one there, which is actually where it got down to. So there's a level. And quite honestly, you know, I think the dollar rallies again, and you're almost waiting for what news it's going to take. You kind of know it's going to rally, and you say to yourself, right, what will it take? Well, maybe the war escalates, maybe something bad happens, maybe Putin uses a tactical nuke, I don't know, something bad, some saber rattling, all of a sudden the dollar strengthens, and then you're obviously going to get the inverse in Euro USD. And in all the, you know, the Aussie USD, which we also look at. I mean, this looks to me like, you know, do not buy this. Okay, so that's what I think. Risk City wants silver. I do have silver here. I haven't looked at it in ages. Oh look, that's what I've drawn. So when last time I looked, I said if it breaks through that, it's going you want it to break through, come back and do that. Well, it looks like it did it all, but just up here, and then it did exactly this. Grab that thing. So you got the break and the retest. Okay, so what do I think of it now? Let's just get rid of all that stuff. So the best way of starting all of these things, get rid of everything, and go out to the monthly and look at the picture. And could you draw something like this on it? Could you? And that's the first way to look at it. Right, I don't like the 1 and the 4, so I don't see that as a Elliott wave downtrend. This is where, you know, and you could say the same thing as I said in Bitcoin and so forth, in that this is a weird time, and so you can expect the 1s and 4s to break. But that, as a monthly, I don't really like. It has reached back into this area of liquidity here and got rejected. It's now reaching back into, it's reached that area of liquidity and gone through it and come straight back up. I would expect a retest to go back up. Okay, so that's what it looks like on the monthly. So I'm just going to draw it in as in that being a sensitive level. So I'm expecting it down to there and back up, and then I want to look at that on a weekly. I'll get rid of this Elliott wave nonsense because I don't think it matters for this. So I'm half expecting that, and now I'm looking at it on weekly, saying to myself, you know, where are the levels? Where's the level here? And there's probably one there. There's definitely one there, which we're now fighting. So I don't know, it's tricky. I'd say it's going to take a while. It's going to take more than one go to break through this particular area. There's a lot, and you know, another way of showing it is to go like this with that tool as usual. Oh, it's not going to give me that because there's no volumes in silver. Okay, so I'll probably need a silver futures or something like that to get volumes, but I would say that's where the main areas of interest are, and we're sitting at one. And the first break, I don't think so. I think it probably falls off maybe as far as this. So right now I would probably be biased short, trying to think, you know, with the target maybe around 21.69. What is it, 23.70 right now? So it's got $2 to go down really as a first target. Would I go long here? No. I really don't want to. I want to see it rally up, retest, and then maybe I'd go long. But at the moment here, it just looks like a short. There's your silver. Go to AU now, because AU we think is interesting. I mean, we think this could be the one of a monthly 5, which is obviously brilliant because then we get evidence. Now, people who are in the channel know what I mean by we get evidence, and we get interested. Now, a lot depends on the movements over the next few. And you've got CPI coming up. I mean, we're in general reasonably bearish, and again, I'm not going to go into why, but if you're inside the channel, then you'll find out. We expect this to pull back. And obviously that's going to marry up with the fact that we expect the dollar to rally. So there you got that. Right, so what I'm going to do is now just quickly pop up the website just for a sec for you. That's if it ever wants to show up. Here we go. So here we have our website, and you can get a free indicator by clicking this one here, and sending us your TradingView username, and we'll pop a free indicator, and it will be the COT indicator, which you can see down here. And interestingly, we are seeing accumulation in this area. We'd expect to see some distribution soon, so we expect this to drop, and then we'd like to see accumulation again, and that's kind of how we're feeling. Here is where they started to sell it to you, so they waited, and you can see this drop like a stone here, and it starts a week before. So basically, once the powers that be had decided we'd had enough, they just started unloading the Aussie dollar on you. They unloaded, and they didn't really get interested in buying. Well, they get slightly interested at each retracement. And right down here, which is actually the week before, don't forget, because they're a week later, we started to see some accumulation. And then since then, it's dipped a little bit. And here, the accumulation has only really started in the last few weeks. And this is a steep, much like this one, steep. So here, I think the powers that be are getting long, and they won't mind. They'll happily make this look like a pullback and fall it down again. They'll drop it down again to make you all think that this was a pullback in a downtrend, and then you can wait and wait and wait and perhaps buy it. So that's what I think of that. Let's look at oil. I haven't looked at oil in ages. That's obviously my previous thought, is that we're in some kind of move like that. This is a weekly, so I've clearly looked at it from a weekly point of view. If you go into the daily then, let's drop that out of the way and just look at price action. Yeah, it's still looking corrective. I'm not certain we've got the 4 in. So I'm going to move that because I'm not seeing any true impulsive behaviour here. So you could see further drops in oil. Gun to my head, what would I do? Probably sell it. but I don't feel very good about it. So I'm kind of a 0 on that. Gold. Now this looks much more like an impulsive picture, so you may find the 4 is in, and we're just getting rallies in gold. You do expect a pullback at some stage. Let's do some simple fib stuff. I mean, we teach a lot of this inside our academy. So this has gone clean through, so it's potentially going up to 2.618 before a fall off, and that would coincide with this area of resistance here. That's what I think in gold. Right, I'm going to call it there. Thanks very much for listening. As I said, we'll be moving largely to YouTube. There will still be TradingView streams. I'll try and keep them up, maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, just to keep people in touch. And when stuff happens, you have no problem streaming on TradingView, but do subscribe to my YouTube channel, because that's where a lot of the updates will be. And while I will still do free ones over the next few, we will be looking at moving that sort of stuff to YouTube and making you pay. Let's see, where is it? So bringing this back up, you know, there's why you should buy education from us. That is an interesting video. Do watch that one. Okay, it takes you like 1.5 minutes, and we'll let you know why it is that we think it's worth you paying for education. And on that note, I will sign off, and I will say have a great week, you guys. Look for CPI. I personally think the CPI will make the dollar rally, just because it wants to anyway, and any kind of news tends to act as a catalyst. I'm not calling a particular CPI number. What I'm saying is, almost no matter what it is, I think the bias is down. So up for the dollar, down for S&Ps and so forth. In fact, quickly look at S&Ps. People do like them. And you've actually got a volume peak in S&P there. So we are at a level where it needs to do quite a lot of work to break through this ceiling. And I think it probably comes back down to mid-38s. Okay, take it easy. Have a good one.